All right, we're live.
Hey everybody, it's Dale Jr. here with the Dale Jr. download, and we are ready for the. Are you eating shredded beef jerky, Mike?
Yeah.
He is.
He is. I brought everybody some shredded beef jerky. If you've been watching the show, you know that I'm a big fan. But this is the Ask Junior part of the show, presented by our friends Xfinity. They're a premier partner of NASCAR, and I'm a customer, big happy customer for Xfinity. What's so funny, Matthew?
Sorry, I was trying to lean down so you didn't see me, but I was watching Mike. I'm sorry. I apologize. Because he's eating shredded beef jerky, making faces, and I couldn't help it.
I wasn't making
I tried to duck so you didn't see
You tried
me.
to duck, yep.
I'm sorry.
I see.
Making bigger motions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
right.
tried. No, I tried. I'm
Whoa!
trying to do something so you can't see me over here. Hey, I was trying to do this, hoping you might not see me.
Oh,
Anyways,
my goodness.
Ask Junior. I know you guys are excited. We got the championship week for Xfinity and Cup at Phoenix. I'm sure we're going to get some questions about that, but Leah's going to handle them. So let's get started.
Yeah, our first question coming from Diego Alvarado. He sent this into Xfinity's Twitter. With your new involvement in iRacing, what kinds of things do you want to see from the service in the coming years?
So I have become executive director at iRacing, and basically I'm going to keep doing what I've been doing for iRacing for decades on and off. I've helped them. I've helped them create partnerships with tracks, organizations like NASCAR and manufacturers. Brought them together to be able to talk to manufacturers, trying to explain in the early stages of iRacing. A lot of people didn't know what it was. A lot of people in racing and motorsports didn't know what it was, and I had to try to tell them, like, hey, this is going to be a big thing. This is where you want your car, your track. This is where you want people learning about it and racing on the virtual version of that track. So I've helped them sort of create some of those relationships. I've helped them back when I was a driver more so. I provided them with a lot of information as far as horsepower and drag and torque and just as much information as I could possibly. If they needed it, I tried to get it, and I'm gonna keep doing that to help them create the best sim. And the whole purpose and the whole focus or drive for me is just I'm a selfish customer. I just want to race on the sim, and I want that content on the sim so I want me and my friends to be able to, have fun with this new content. So I'm always out there trying to get them to scan this track and that track and build this car and that car. And I'm just going to continue to try to put the pressure on Steve Myers and everybody at iRacing. I know that the company's got such a bright future. They've already accomplished so much. I'm excited to continue to be a part of it, and more of an official role now going forward. But it's all a selfish sort of thing, a bit of selfish motivation because I'm a customer, and I just want to keep racing and keep having fun on such an enjoyable platform, and I want it to continue to grow.
Kevin Grapes is watching live on YouTube. We want to know what your thoughts are. Harvick missing the championship after dominating the season.
Man, that's tough. We watched that happen, obviously, in the broadcast booth. I was surprised. Okay, Harvick's move at the end, I think a lot of us would have done it differently. I'm watching it, and I'm like, hey, he's gonna hit him in the middle of the corner or entering the corner and just move him up the track into the marbles. Once you send a guy up there into the marbles outside of the main, two grooves at Martinsville, they're done. They're kind of sliding around. They're not going to be able to come back and get you, especially if you're just coming to the checkered flag. So I thought, going into turn 3, he would just kind of, okay, Kyle, I'm just going to send you up the track. It's harmless. You're going to be fine. I'm going to take this spot. You're going to finish behind me. But Kyle went into the corner in the high line, and he didn't chase him up there. He just went to the bottom and then tried to hit him coming off the corner and spun themselves both out. Jeff Burton said to me, he goes, for people that don't wreck other people on purpose a lot, when they try to do it, they do a lousy job of it. And so that was his opinion. and that was interesting. But I thought, man, if I'm Kevin, I send Kyle up the track into turn 3, and I just go by him. But he didn't do it that way, and so that was my kind of initial reaction to that. And we watched the 20 car, just not past Denny, and we now know that they had some radio communication about that and not to pass Denny. But we're sitting there watching it. Everybody there that was watching it was like knew that Jones wasn't going to pass him, and so it was interesting to see how NASCAR handled that. I don't think that you can make the argument that Denny's like just running his car best he can run it, and that Jones and his group, as far as crew chief, spotter, and the driver, are responsible for what they did, and that they should be imposed some sort of a penalty or fine compared to the precedent set in the past with Michael Waltrip Racing and all that. It's a little bit different, but still the same sort of manipulation to get a guy into further into the playoffs. But NASCAR chose not to fine him, so that's what's happening. That's what's happening going forward. I probably would have, if I'd have been NASCAR, I guess if you wanted to ask me, I'm sure people are going to want to know my feelings about it. I probably would have fined or penalized the 20 or that group in some way. I don't know if I could. I would have had to think hard about Denny and doing anything there, because I don't know that Denny did anything intentionally to manipulate the finish of the race. I would not probably add anyone back in or put Harvick or Boyer or anybody into the Final Four. I never liked when they did that with Gordon. So I just probably would be a little bit hard on that 20 team, and that would be it.
Brady Kellogg wants to know, what are your thoughts on there only being one standalone track at Mid-Ohio on the Xfinity schedule for next year?
I don't know. There's an argument for both on standalone events, right? So there's a lot of positives to the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series racing in companion events with the Cup Series. A lot more eyeballs. It's easier to sell sponsorships to those races, and it's a bigger ticket for the fan who comes to watch it. They got more racing to see, more things to do. So there's so many positives to piling up the weekends with so many different types of racing. The standalone events do, though, have a pretty fun vibe to them. When you're the premier series, if you're the Xfinity Series and you're the premier series for that race weekend, it's a fun vibe. You're kind of the leader, lead series in town, and I walk around with your chest out a little bit. But otherwise, I wish there were more short tracks on the schedule. I wish they went to South Boston and Nashville Fairgrounds, and those would probably more than likely obviously be standalone events. Cup Series is not going to go to South Boston, but I wish the Xfinity Series went to a lot of these short tracks across the country and competed where a lot of the super late model drivers that are trying to get that break in the Xfinity Series or the Truck Series, I wish they kind of would bridge that gap, bring them closer together. We should race Xfinity or trucks at Five Flags. Just different sort of historical short tracks all across the country should be part of that schedule. That would mean having less companion events, and that presents some challenges. But I don't think we'll ever see it. I just don't think we'll ever see it. We're going to keep pushing toward the bigger venues, trying to it's a lot of the decisions are driven by the dollar and what's best for everyone financially, and I know that's really important, especially right now.
Jason Brooks is watching live on YouTube. We haven't done this in a while. He wants you to pick out one of the items in the background and just tell us about it. Okay. I think we've talked about the helmet. What do you want to talk about?
Well, there's an Alka-Seltzer helmet. That's a helmet from Jimmy Means. I was a big fan of Jimmy Means. He was a driver in the Cup Series back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and his son Brad and I are pretty good friends. Brad, I think, gave me that helmet. There's a Ralph Earnhardt trophy next to it. Greenville Pickens Speedway Track Championship.
Yep.
That is a picture of me and Dad, and I'm in a Washington football team's jacket. That shows how long I've been a fan of that team.
Oh, wow. I didn't
We're
realize
standing-
that's what it was.
We're standing next to an Oldsmobile Cutlass 442 in 1980. I don't really ever remember much about being around my dad until I went to live with him in 1981, 82. And so this picture, I don't know where we were at, where it was taken, but I am so damn glad I got it because I just recently acquired it probably like 5 years ago.
What's the record?
Charlie Daniels.
Oh, okay. I've
Yeah.
never looked at it.
Stroke Race theme song.
Oh.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Somebody asked on YouTube, do you still have Wilson? Yes, Wilson's on the other.
Yeah, Wilson's on the other side
On the other
of the
side.
room. There's a lot of fun stuff in here, and we should probably spend more time maybe creating some YouTube content about some of the pieces in here. One of my favorite thing is the roof. The number 2. That's a number 2 Monte Carlo 1979, 1980 Dale Earnhardt roof. Now, if you have a man cave or a garage, you're a huge fan of any driver, especially from the 80s when most of the cars ran stock roofs, you can go to a junkyard, which is what we did, and cut the roof off of the car that you need, which we needed at Monte Carlo. Take it, clean it up, box up the ends so they don't cut your hand off, and paint it and decal it. You will spend literally under $150 to create exactly what's right there on that wall, and you will have a nice piece of history. Yes, it's not real race-used history, but dang, man, for as much as that cost or as little as that costs to make, for a man cave, to me, that is a pretty nice piece once you put that up on a wall. Just beautiful colors, and it really... I think I also have a Pontiac roof from Dad's car from 1981. The next year after this, he drove the number 2 car for a little bit before he went to Richard Childress. But I was thinking in my head I was going to try to make as many of those roofs as I could, up to a point in the 80s. I think it'd be cool to have roofs in my man cave. But man, I don't know why more people don't try to make those because there's nobody's going to stop you. Yeah. Is it just me? Am I the only one?
No, heck no, man. I think it's the coolest thing. I wish
many
I
you
had a
done?
man cave, and if I did.
I've done that one in a 1981 Pontiac roof.
81 Pontiac roof.
Yeah, Dad drove a Pontiac in 1981.
Okay.
And so I did a Pontiac roof. It's over at my shop. They're easy to make. Just a little bit of color, a little bit of paint, a little bit of decal, and I'm serious, like under $150, probably you could probably get the roof for nothing, and just whatever you're going to have in paint and decals, you might be able to find somebody. You might know somebody that can paint it.
Or
Cheap,
paint it
very,
yourself,
very
yeah.
cheap. Yeah, for something that nice looking, I think it looks nice. You
It
could
does
probably
look
you
nice.
take that to a racetrack, put a for sale sign on it.
Yeah,
which-
you kidding me? You get a lot.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody pay a lot of money for that, and it doesn't cost much.
All right.
Is that it? What was that? 2 questions?
No, that was like
No,
4
that
or
was like
5
4 or
questions.
5.
I can ask another one.
One more.
We had
Dale loves this.
a Dream Z. He's a Boyer fan, and with Boyer retiring, he's looking for another active driver to be a fan of. Is there any other driver that might have a similar personality to his that I should look into?
My goodness,
No
no.
personality.
That's he's one of a kind,
There's
right?
nobody like Clint, honestly. Yeah, there's nobody like Clint, and I honestly, I could not think of anybody that would remind me of him, and he's a colorful personality and a great guy, and he's going to be amazing for our sport in the booth. It's exactly, I think, what that booth needs, and it's just going to be so much fun listening to him on race day do some races, and I'm glad he's going to be a part of the sport going forward. But he's going to leave a void in personality on the racetrack. It will be filled, and we have a lot of great personalities out there, but there's not many that come along in our sport like him. He's pretty real and honest and raw, and I will say that the guy that's filling that seat, Chase Briscoe, is worth a look. No, he's nothing like Clint in personality, but as far as character, I'd put them both up there as guys of very high character.
That's a tough question because, like, the
Some-
crazy character part of it.
Yeah.
Somebody said Noah Gragson would be one to watch if you like Clint. As far as colorful
Yeah.
personalities,
Yeah.
that's-
Corey LaJoy
Yeah, Corey's a little bit like Clint,
Yeah.
but a little cleaner.
can be a little unhinged at times. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep our eye out for the next Clint Eastwood.
There's only one of those too.
Yeah. Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer's gonna love that I called him Clint Eastwood. My gosh.
If you could only see Mike in the background.
Yeah.
That was that off.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in. There's some good questions. As always, you guys come through. Thank you to Xfinity for supporting our podcast, premier partner of NASCAR, and a great partner for this program. And Chackenhouse was our guest today. He had some great stories, some stuff that I did not know. And he opened up a little bit about getting creative on them race cars. We try to get the crew chiefs and some of the drivers to talk about some of the ways they circumvented some of the rules or punched some holes in the rule book. And he got to talking about that a little bit. So I'm excited for you guys to hear it. That'll be out later tonight. So thanks again. Y'all have a great week.
All right.